All right, everybody, how's it going out there? Fishing California with EBA, and today we are going to go ahead. We're going to talk about G Loomis rods. Specifically, we're going to talk about the GLX model today. We're going to talk about the 893C. The 893C is a casting rod. The C stands for casting rod. It's a JWR. It stands for jig worm rod. So if you're looking at the 893C JWR GLX model by G Loomis, which is now owned by Shimano, we're going to talk today about this rod, what it does well, what it doesn't do well, the price point, the replacement policy, the policies in general. We're going to talk about, my favorite tactics or my methods that I really love this rod when I'm fishing those particular styles. This rod is something I want to have in my hands. So let's talk about that today. What does the GLX lineup bring? It's a step above IMX. It's a step above E6s and GL2, GL3s, blanks. It is a step up. It's incredibly light. It's incredibly balanced, sensitive type rod. Really has a great feel to it. Slightly heavier than the NRX. Slightly lighter than the IMX, but in reality, right in that same ballpark. I mean, the IMX and the GLX are in the same weight class. We're talking a feather difference and a feather difference between the GLX and the NRX as far as, how much lighter you're going. And even from the NRX to the Conquest lineup, we're talking another feather. Can you feel a feather? It's almost immeasurable, so you don't feel too much of a weight difference. But that GLX, it's an incredible rod for going out there, bottom contact baits. There's really it's hard to beat unless you're finessing your bottom contact baits. But even then, this rod allows you to throw a 1/4 ounce bait and still really get it, get that right load, get that right cast, allow you to present it properly, keep it pinned on the bottom, get those bites. But in reality, this rod is much more. So whether you're Texas rigging or you're throwing a jig and a pig, if you got that skin, that hook is buried into that skin, or it's open, you got an open hook on that same bait, this is going to work lights out. It's going to be, best model for the tactic. I mean, like I said, you've got different lineups. You've got the NRX, you've got the GLX, which we're talking about now. They're both great. You've got the IMX. All three of those are phenomenal. So if you ask me which one do you need to buy, you don't need to buy any of those three. It's whichever rod you have the money to buy. So if you don't have NRX money, you buy an IMX. If you have a GLX, you have enough to get one, you pick one up. But I mean, we're talking about three incredible series lineups of rods. The GLX is, it's incredible at doing everything we discussed. Let's talk about what else it does really well. Let's talk about some of the other things it does really well. Some of the other things it does well people don't talk about is buzz baits, big buzz baits. Let's say you like cranking a buzz bait. Big, medium, small buzz baits, they're all working great. How about an A-rig? A-rigs work pretty good. Lighter A-rigs, not the bigger ones. Finesse A-rigs. What about spinner baits? Spinner baits work phenomenal. What about chatterbaits? I love chatterbaits on this rod. Now, in situations, I love those chatterbaits on this rod. And the reason is, let's say you're in high grass or you've got like mats, you've got some thick moss, whatever it is, and this gets on your bait, your chatterbait from time to time. When you have a stiffer rod on that 893C, a little bit of extra power, 3/8 and 1/2 ounce chatterbaits being the number one, that we throw, it handles them just right, and it allows you to kind of pop, and you pop that right out, or you just really you basically just keep your cadence going. When you get caught up or you feel like there might have been something that got on your bait, you give it a pop. And a lot of times that's going to clean your bait. It's going to create a reaction strike at the same time. It's incredibly effective, but it's possible only with a stiff rod. So if you're open cover fishing a chatterbait, right, and you're in open water and you're just covering water, and that's all you care about, then I would go with a glass blend rod or a moderate action, very parabolic rod. But when, like we were saying, you're doing the toolies, you're tipping, you're maybe swimming something through a swim jig, perfect rod for a swim jig. Maybe you want to throw rats top water and they're up to an ounce. You can get away with that kind of stuff. You can get away with certain top waters, frogs. This rod will work very well for you. Sometimes, you know, you can get away with baits slightly lighter and baits slightly over. So it's a 3/16 to a 5/8 ounce lure rating. I believe 100%. What it really is it's a 1/5 ounce to a 3/4 ounce lure rating. Yes, you can push it to an ounce. You can actually push that. However, I wouldn't be doing that all the time. That's kind of like a situational, maybe you don't have the right rod or you're trying to use one rod to do a bunch of things. So this rod is very versatile. It's an incredible price point. Here's the deal. I'm going to tell you the policies. 1, don't buy a new rod for full price. Number 2, 10 to 20% off on a new rod is what I would call a gimme. Number 2, if you buy a used rod, you should be able to get them for $250 to $300. So, you know, when you look at a $500 price tag and you say, well, that's a nice rod, but it's a little bit too much money, doesn't have to be brand new, and definitely don't pay full price. If you do anything, don't pay full price. I guarantee you guys, you won't be unhappy with this rod. It's phenomenal. Let me talk about the blank. Blank's, you know, bit tighter, bit stiff, but it's got some soft properties as well, which allow it to load up well, which allow it to cast well, which allow it to, you know, do a lot of other things well. So one thing I wanted to mention before we go, guys, these reel seats that they have are pretty good. They're pretty good. However, I have seen some GLX reel seats, as well as, I guess, everything. I've seen it in every model, every lineup, from the lowest to the all the way to, except the NRXs, I haven't experienced it, where, you know, sometimes the reel seats, they kind of slip. Other than that, this rod is phenomenal. I would say that if you are patient, you know, try to find an NRX, you know, on sale. You're going to spend just a little bit more, but you're never going to have to say, well, you know, this is great, one day I'll upgrade. No. If you're one of those people and you're going to keep fishing, do it the first time, get it the first time, don't pay full price. I really like paying 50 to 60% of the retail. And then if you can't get it for that, time goes by, maybe pay 65 to 75%. But, you know, being patient, not just jumping on and buying it for retail will save you a lot of money. It'll also give you time to understand what that rod is for or what it's going to do best. Worst thing you can do is spend a bunch of money you didn't need to spend for techniques that you don't really use much. Doesn't make sense. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit the smash and the like button. We're a smaller channel. We'd like to grow. We hope you enjoy. We're going to be keeping on, and thanks for watching.